Medical effects are not the only way this virus is impacting our region. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Homepage Network. I'm Rhonda Pearson. On today's Tioga County COVID-19 Task Force update, community leaders Jim Nobles, President of Mansfield University, Dr. Charles Patterson, Executive Director of the Mansfield Chamber of Commerce, Don Hull, owner of the Mansfield Destroyers, Don Lewis, and Executive Director of the Wellsboro Chamber of Commerce, Julie Vaness, discuss the virus's far-reaching impact on our region. Jim?
Thank you, Rhonda. Since early March, COVID-19 has become a daily part of our lives. The effects this disease has had on our citizens is devastating, and it impacts every facet of our daily lives. But the medical effects are not the only way this virus is impacting our region. We've also seen significant interruption to our businesses, our churches, our farmlands, and our recreation. Today we are joined by several members of our community to talk about other ways the virus is impacting our area. First up is Don Lewis. Don is the owner of the Mansfield Destroyers. Don, last year was the inaugural season for Destroyers baseball in Mansfield. It was a great season, and we were so looking forward to another great year of baseball right here in Mansfield. But unfortunately, the virus is not going to allow that to happen. What can you tell us about this decision, and what are your future plans for the Destroyers?
We had a great first inaugural year. Obviously, we led the league in attendance. We went to the West Division Championship with Brian, Coach Hill. He did a great job with that. We had a great team planned for this year. We had a lot of promotions planned for this year. I want to personally thank you, Jim. I want to thank Dr. Patterson, Dawn, everybody from the chamber, everybody all around has been a huge support. I know you guys have taken calls and text messages at 9:30 at night and everything to figure out what the safest is for our players, our fans, our sponsors, what the best would be. I think between all of us, we had a great game plan in place if we could have made this happen. But after talking with the league and us being affiliated with Major League Baseball and taking all their advice, we thought it would obviously be best to step back for this season, take a year off, look forward to next season, and bring it back more exciting, a little less stress, keeping everybody safe and everything. But we thought that was the best interest of our organization to make sure the fans, the team, the players, everybody was safe. And with your help, obviously, and Charles' help and Dawn's help and everybody, we thought that was the best idea, obviously. And I appreciate your guys' support helping me make that decision also for our organization.
Yeah, Don, that's great to hear. Nothing screams spring like baseball, and I know everybody was looking forward to a season. The virus is just impacting so many facets of our life, so it's great to hear the Destroyers are going to be back with a vengeance next year. So you did talk about Dr. Patterson and his support from Mansfield University. So Dr. Patterson, you were a key supporter of the Destroyers, allowing them to play their games on your university field. You've talked before about the importance of the university and community partnership. What can you tell us about the Destroyers next year and the university's support for that team?
Hosting the Mansfield Destroyers on the campus of Mansfield University is simply good fun and yet another opportunity to kind of blur the lines between a university campus and the larger community. Mansfield is a regional anchor institution for the Northern Tier and providing some of the area's only access to higher education and career opportunities. And in this position, we also play an important role in fostering regional economies, supporting civic and cultural life through music, theater, camps, conferences, and athletic tournaments. And having the Mansfield Destroyers on our campus brings a unique flavor to the athletic competition in the region, and one that attracts not just local participation, but also draws spectators and fans from all around our region to our beautiful campus, to the boroughs of Mansfield and Wellsboro, and to our downtown and regional businesses. So as an institution that really embraces this idea of university community engagement, having the Destroyers on our campus just makes sense.
Yeah, that's so great to hear, and you're absolutely right. That university-community relationship is so important. So since taking over as the university president, you made some great strides, increasing enrollment. The university was really on a great path, and they still are. So then the virus hits, and everything gets upended, and all the plans kind of go out the window. What are you looking for next academic year and beyond to really get the university back on that great path that it was already traveling on?
Yeah, certainly COVID-19 has disrupted higher education throughout the United States. But as a member of the task force, we continue to closely monitor the progression and the spread of COVID-19. And this will ultimately determine if we are to return to in-person instruction in the fall. Mansfield continues to accept new students. We're actively registering new students for the fall classes. We're seeing a sharp increase in the number of deposits for our new residence halls. As of today, we're up about 170 new deposits for residence halls as compared to this point in time last year, which is a strong indicator of students' continued interest in a traditional, safe, on-campus learning experience for the upcoming fall. So I am actually bolstered by those data. I know our students want to return, and we certainly want our students to be here on campus with us. Mansfield University is within the North Central region, which will be one of the first regions likely to go from this yellow status to green. And as the fall semester comes into sharper focus, we will continue to take into account all of our federal and state guidance, our state system requirements, and the personal needs of our own faculty, staff, and students as we plan for the fall. And while we continue to plan for what might potentially be face-to-face instruction, this planning also necessitates that we concurrently develop contingency plans to provide some level of remote instruction as well. So while we plan for face-to-face, we have to also build in all of those contingencies to ensure that we are adequately prepared for just about any scenario that fall may bring.
Yeah, that's so great to hear. I think it's one thing the virus has taught us, in any industry, you got to have a plan and a backup plan and about 2 or 3 backups to your backups, because the virus is just moving at an incredible pace. We don't know a lot about it. And you're absolutely right. The task force has been working very hard to keep this county as safe as possible, to keep our numbers as low as possible. And I think that's going to prove valuable moving forward, especially for the university, as people look to regions of the state that aren't as infected as others. This North Central region, and specifically Tioga County, we've done a really good job with that. So thank you for the support. Thank you for that commitment to keeping the university as strong as possible. Today, we're also joined by Dawn Hall. Dawn's the Executive Director of the Mansfield Chamber of Commerce. So Dawn, baseball being one, that's one activity that's been impacted by COVID-19 in the Mansfield area. What other activities is the virus wreaking havoc with in the Mansfield area?
Nothing says summer more than fireworks and baseball in my mind. And unfortunately, due to the recommendations provided in the best practices, 4th of July this year will also be canceled. We're standing by that. We had a great lineup with Taylor Acorn, a Nashville country singer. We had a baseball game scheduled, so it's a sad day. Unfortunately, our summer will look different. We will not have the same students around from the camps. That is a huge impact to the Mansfield community, not only from our economy, but also the livelihood. Mansfield University and their activities provide a whole new energy for our downtown. That young, vibrant mentality of, just getting out there and spending more time outside. So we hope to see more people using our bike trails or, our campgrounds, just enjoying the time outside, renting bikes, buying bikes, and just biking around, which we are starting to see when it's a little nicer weather compared to the snow we're having right now.
Yeah, that's absolutely so important. Again, you bring up some very good points. If the virus has taught us anything, it knocked us down. There's no doubt about that. But we have to choose not to stay down. So we have to get back up. We have to find other ways that we can entertain ourselves. Yeah, you're right. The 4th of July, that's a big blow. But we're going to come back better than ever. We're going to plan for new things next year. So community events are just one small part of the far-reaching impact of this virus. What impact has the virus had on small businesses? And in your role at the Chamber, what are you doing to help them recover?
The impact has been interesting for the Mansfield community. Obviously, we have our big box stores, which have had a totally different impact than some of our small businesses. A lot of people have gone above and beyond for small businesses, ensuring that even though they may not be open, to buy a gift card. buy chamber bucks to use at a different date. We have a new mentality of, we want to see our downtowns, so come out and support those downtowns, which is nice to hear. I was at the coffee shop this morning and they were talking about the phone hasn't stopped ringing. People don't want to see them close. So, which is a great mentality. If we continue that mentality, we're going to be stronger and even better. We've been working with our businesses to understand the new guidelines that will go into place on Friday. We have a checklist for all of our businesses, as several have been closed for 6+ weeks. They may not be following those guidelines. We've been working closely with the task force in ensuring that our community groups are making masks, our groups are getting masks out. We're trying to understand the new norm, the pickups, the deliveries, the call ahead and curbside pickup is a whole new concept. But you know what? We're understanding it and we're being stronger and wiser with our decisions. So I think we're going to pull through now, which is a great thing to see.
Yeah, that's great to hear, and it's great to have your leadership here on the Mansfield side. Moving over to the Wellsboro side, we're also pleased to welcome Julie Van Ness, who's the executive director of the Wellsboro Chamber of Commerce. Julie, nothing gets us ready for summer more than the Laurel Festival. It's something everybody looks forward to. It's kind of that official start of summer up in our county. The decision to cancel could not have been an easy one. Have you and the Laurel Festival Committee already begun planning and looking ahead to next year?
It was a very painful decision to cancel the Laurel Festival, and we did wait until the very last minute to do so. But the board of directors and other community leaders felt that for the safety of our communities and our participants, that it was best to cancel for 2020. We haven't started 2021 as of yet because we're actually turning our focus to Dickens of a Christmas, which is a huge event, not only for Wellsboro, but spills into the other communities as well. So I think it's important that we look forward to that event to make any adjustments necessary to possibly hold that event, probably not in the traditional sense, but we're gonna work out a plan, and so we're actively investigating different ideas and trying to think outside the box a little bit for that.
That's so reassuring to hear. We'll knock on wood and keep our fingers crossed, and whatever superstitions we play into, hopefully we can put this in our rearview mirror and it doesn't affect Dickens. But it's great to hear that you and your team are already looking that far ahead. So Wellsboro is recognized as one of America's main streets. It's something that attracts a lot of visitors to the region. It's what Wellsboro is so known for, that Main Street USA. A closure of this side has to be very hard on the community. What are you and the Wellsboro Chamber doing to prepare the businesses as we move through the phases of the governor's reopening plan?
We're compiling information from each business and what their hours of operation are going to be and what adaptations they're making to their business, so we can make sure that we get that out to the community so that the community knows what to expect. We're also promoting heavily shop local. Before you hit that place order button, think if you can get that item locally. If you're concerned about going out and being exposed, call ahead, have them bring it to the curb. If you think about it, if you get an item delivered to you at the curbside pickup, you've got one person handling that item rather than an item going through distribution center after distribution center, then the postal system, and then to your front porch. So, the small businesses have supported you. They've supported their kids' ball teams, soccer teams, whatnot, fundraisers. It's time for the community to turn around, get out there and support these businesses that have continued to support us through all these years. So we're promoting shop local, getting that information out to the public as quickly as we can.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. It's so important during this time, shop local. You bring up a great point. These businesses, that's who we see on the back of our Little League uniforms, our soccer uniforms. I mean, they're the ones really stepping up to the plate. That curbside pickup, I think they've adjusted very well to move through the phases, but now's the time to give them some support. So our area, like so many others throughout the Commonwealth, it's just been seriously affected by this disease and the prolonged shutdown. as we discussed, many of the things that really scream Tioga County, they're not happening this year. What advice do each of you have to help everyone? Really, we got to keep a positive attitude. We got to be able to look ahead. We got to look past the impact of this virus in the here and now. So as we look to next year and beyond, let's give a little advice to our viewers. Dr. Patterson, we'll start with you. What advice do you have?
Well, from a university perspective, our students were impacted as they moved home to complete their spring semester online. And as the semester continued, many of our students, our student athletes, they all really rallied around each other, sharing videos, staying connected online. During the latter part of the semester, we had about 55 students that remained on campus because they lacked broadband access in rural communities, or their home environment was not conducive to an online learning environment. So Colleen and I would visit the residence halls and simply drop snacks for students and with positive and encouraging messages for the weeks ahead. But we're looking forward to really re-engaging in the fall, how we bring back to campus our spring commencement ceremony. That was one of the impacts of COVID-19, was the inability of our graduating seniors to celebrate their accomplishments and really have a conducive experience consistent with seniors across the country. We weren't the only school, of course, that was affected, but we want to bring those students back to campus. So we're messaging with those students about our plans for spring commencement, and we'll be able to hopefully look to fall to have our students back on campus, our spring graduates back on campus to celebrate their achievements. One of the things that we are focusing on right now is the distribution of funding received under the CARES Act for our students that were displaced by COVID-19. And so to date, we have received about $2 million under the CARES Act, and about half of that will go to students directly in the form of block grants, which are being distributed this week for eligible students. And then we'll also be distributing emergency aid grants in the coming weeks to continue to support students displaced by COVID-19, to encourage them to come back to campus in the fall, to register in the fall, and to continue their education. That is so very important, that we don't see students stop out needlessly and further prolong their degree progression. We'll also be communicating with students, again, as we look to plan for fall. And we're internally right now trying to design those experiences around COVID-19. We're not going to return to a new normal, as you know, in the coming fall or perhaps even the spring until we have a vaccine or some type of better treatments for COVID-19. So we're looking at those types of events. How can we continue to engage students? How can we continue to stay connected with them and make sure that our Mounties continue to be supported by the university?
Yeah, so reassuring to hear. So it sounds like you've got it. You're steering the ship. You're at the helm here, and you've got some good plans moving forward. So we'll look forward to speaking with you again and some future updates as we move through the summer months and look to that kind of fall opening for the university. Julie, what advice can you give businesses and community members?
Well, all of our communities have made it through some difficult times in the past, and I'm sure we'll make it through this one. The one thing that keeps our community strong is exactly that: people working together in a sense of community, and the businesses working together, sharing ideas, thinking outside the box. We're helping people think about their business plans and how they're running their business, and what ways they can increase their traffic, their business traffic, whether it's curbside, online, whatever the case may be. But they need to stay strong. They need to work together, and we're very fortunate in our area. Our communities are very good at that. That's what keeps us all going.
Absolutely, you summed it up very nicely. Community. Yep. Dawn, what advice do you have?
Our businesses are the heart, soul, foundation of small towns. So, all we keep saying to everybody is support those people. We will get back. If you want to see your kids' elite team have a sponsor or anything, remember those people. Remember to provide them with the same opportunities you would anybody else. So, stop by, check in on your neighbors. Check in on those businesses also. they need that help. As we open up on Friday, they have some of the same concerns as you do going out in the community. Support them. Make sure that we have that heart, soul foundation going forward of our small towns, and that we can strive to be here in another 50 years and see what our future looks like.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Don, so you're someone new to this area. The Destroyers, like we said, last year was their inaugural season, and what a great season they had. So as someone new to the area, what can you say about your commitment to this area as we look towards recovery?
Yeah, I think you and your COVID task force has done an unbelievable job. Hopefully more communities and counties take advice from you guys with what you guys have done. I know you're leading the way, more or less, for Pennsylvania. But even just talking to Dr. Patterson, we canceled our season on Monday. Talking to Dr. Patterson, we got another deal done right away to lease the field and make it our home again for another year in 2021. So we're really looking forward to that. We try to do as much as we can in the off season for the people, but especially when the season comes around for us, just for us, hopefully bringing in 40 to 50 new people for the summer months, with buses coming in, filling with gas, eating at local restaurants for the visiting teams. That's more or less what we're looking forward to, more bringing back to the community that way. So I thank you and your task force. I thank Dr. Patterson for working so closely with me in such a quick time period to be able for us to start planning for the 2021 season now.
That's great to hear, and I really want to thank everybody for being with us today. It's so encouraging to hear that even though this virus has dealt us what I consider a serious blow, many of the things we look forward to all year long, we're not going to be here this year, but your resolve and dedication and passion that we heard from everybody today, we're going to recover from this, and we're going to come back stronger than ever. As the task force always said, community means everyone, and every one of you, when you talked today and gave your testimony about your areas, how we're going to come back, you mentioned community and pulling that community together. And together, that's exactly what this community needs, togetherness. We will look beyond the impact of this virus it has on our activities. We will recover from this, but we need to continue that forward look. We need to keep looking towards recovery and rebuilding and pulling together to move this county through the governor's phases. We want to get through this yellow phase. We want to move to the green phase as quickly as possible, but we're going to need everybody's help to do that, to make sure Tioga County continues to be such a great place to live. We bring back these activities. So today I want to thank all the hard work and dedication that many people working together have made happen. We're transitioning from the red phase to the yellow phase, but now is not the time to get complacent. We can't afford to allow this virus to gain a foothold in our community. And I'm confident the task force, we can count on everyone to continue to do the right thing, continue to do what we've been doing since very early on in March, follow the Department of Health recommendations on this first step toward our road to recovery. Observe social distancing when away from home, stay masked when you're around other people, stay healthy, and wash your hands.
Life-changing medicine is not only medical treatment or surgical treatment, but giving patients hope.
UPMC brings so much to the table. They're just a comprehensive visionary system.
UPMC is innovative and always on the cutting edge of technology.
Defining not only healthcare, but health.
Its expertise, its focus on patients and what is best for patients.
As UPMC, we're able to elevate the standard of care. Just a wonderful opportunity.